Good morning. It is the Thursday, August 3rd Mastermind, and our guest speaker is Paris Ryan. Paris, the floor is yours. I'm going to mute everybody else.
Good morning, everybody. Thank you, Bert, for having me on this call this morning. It's an honor and a privilege to come back and be able to contribute, especially when so much was given to me with this knowledge that I was oblivious to until I got involved in your mastermind. So thank you all. I'm just happy to be here, and I'm just enjoying life. I love the fact that we have a choice to create our lives through having a definite chief aim and through pursuit of our definite major purpose. I remember for me, when I first even learned about Think and Grow Rich or anything personal development for that matter, I was actually homeless, living in the Salvation Army, working a job that I hated, but thank God I had a job. I'm appreciative of it. Where my thoughts were eating me alive because I didn't have a purpose. I didn't have a specific chief aim for me to pursue. I was just going back and forth with my thoughts like the wind. And what changed for me was getting involved in the mastermind. I remember being in the Salvation Army when I first got involved with the mastermind. The first time I wrote my statement and I started saying that I wanted it so bad because for me it wasn't a choice. I was literally just went through a massive breakup with my daughter's mother, and she took everything, my car, everything. I literally started from ground zero. So it was the best gift that I ever could have imagined. Napoleon Hill talks about how every challenge has a seed of an equivalent benefit. I didn't know it back then, but me being in that situation built the muscle and gave me the pressure applied necessary for me to shift into the person that I am today through me learning the knowledge of the statement. When I first started saying my statement, I remember the first 3 months, just like Bert said, first I was working a dead end job that I hated, Dunkin' Donuts. And I started getting introduced to the statement, and I had put in a goal in my statement to go to a Tony Robbins event. So I just kept saying my statement every day. I was like, man, this I don't know if this works. I don't know if this is going to change my life. I didn't have the belief or the faith, but I just kept doing it anyway. Through auto suggestion, I kept saying my statement over and over again. I remember one time I was saying the statement 20 times a day with an accountability partner. We call each other like 3 or 4 times a day, and we literally scream into each other and talk about our moments. It mattered. We were at the airport. It didn't matter. At that time, I couldn't afford to be at the airport. I would just say it I would go on break and I would call and say my statement. And something started to happen. I started because I was holding the things in my statement in the garden of my mind. Situations, experiences, and people started to manifest in my life that were in accordance to my statement. All because I was holding that thought. I was holding that definite purpose in my mind. It started to magnetize. Then when it started to magnetize, I started to see the images of my statement. When I started to see those images of my statement as if they were real through visualization, I started to experience the crystallization of my statement through the power of first it hitting my conscious mind, then through all the suggestion it going through the ether, hitting the subconscious mind. And then the infinite intelligence conspiring to make my goals a reality. So I started this business, this diabetic supply company, as a result. And at first I was in North Carolina. I kept putting measurable goals in my statement, action steps that I had to do every single day. And I would say it over and over and over again. Like I said 20 to 10 times a day. First off, I was saying it 20. Then when I had my statement memorized, I was saying it 10. And the magic just started happening. First, I started my diabetic supply company in North Carolina. Then it went from North Carolina to Georgia, then to Alabama, and now I'm like Bert had mentioned earlier, I'm nationwide, all over the United States with my diabetic supply company. And I'm also doing real estate as well. I have a real estate investment company that is starting off to be highly successful. So, with that being said, I want to talk about emotionalizing your statement by telling you a story. I was driving for my first deal, which I put in my statement. My first deal in real estate. I was driving from Fayetteville, North Carolina to Charlotte, North Carolina. The whole drive there, I had my daughter with me. My daughter is 3 years old. The whole ride up there, all she kept talking about was macaroni and cheese. She was screaming about this macaroni and cheese, crying about this macaroni and cheese. She wanted that macaroni and cheese. I was like, sweetheart, we can't stop. We're going to be late for this meeting. This is my first real estate deal. You'll be all right till we get there. You want a snack? No, I want macaroni and cheese. That's all I want. She was telling me how she was going to eat the macaroni and cheese. She was telling me what this macaroni and cheese looked like on the plate that she was going to have. She kept talking about that macaroni and cheese. She was crying about the macaroni and cheese. So we're driving for 3 hours up to Charlotte, and all I keep hearing about is this macaroni and cheese. It was her predominant thought. It was her predominant thought that she was holding in her mind. When we got to the client's house, I was meeting the real estate agent, the contractor, and the investor out there. We were walking around the house. My daughter's in the living room with her mother, and we're walking outside the house looking at the HVAC system and checking the plumbing of the house to make sure that everything is good and it's at spec where it's supposed to be. I come back into this house, and my daughter has the owner of the house, the lady, the wife, cooking her macaroni and cheese. She's cooking her macaroni and cheese, serves her macaroni and cheese on the exact same plate that she told me she was going to eat her macaroni and cheese on. And I immediately realized that she was exercising the principles of Think and Grow Rich. What did she do? She had a predominant thought. She had a definite major purpose, a definite chief aim for what she wanted to achieve and how she was going to achieve it. She talked about it, do repetition. She kept talking about that macaroni and cheese nonstop, over and over again, the whole ride up there. And then one of the secrets is she emotionalized her thought. She emotionalized that thought because she was crying. She was screaming for that macaroni and cheese. And as a result, when we got to where we were going, she was able to manifest that in her reality because it hit her conscious mind and transmitted to her subconscious mind in such a powerful way that she used every emotional faculty that she could think of. There was faith, there was passion, there was love because she loves that macaroni and cheese. Everything she that you could think of that we don't think about, she used. She invoked her creative imagination and synthetic imagination by rooting in past experience of her eating macaroni and cheese and then created a new experience, new creative imagination of her eating that macaroni and cheese. Like all these principles in my child at 4 years old, without her even knowing it, she was implementing these success principles, and as a result, she manifested that macaroni and cheese. It was something that really hit me in such a way, and I was like, wow. How many times do we not fully play out when it comes to our goals, when it comes to our dreams, when it comes to our statements? And that's what I realized that I was able to recognize that in my small child because I've been living that for the past year. My statement date was March 14th. It's March 14th. Coming up March 14th, 2018. I just had a statement date not too long ago, March 14th, 2017. And when I look back at my statement, I realized that everything in my statement manifested at least twice. I kept changing my statement because I kept manifesting things in my statement. From my weight goals, I was 138 pounds when I first started with work. And after about 6-7 months, I started gaining weight, so I was working out. I remember him even telling me, Paris, you need to write what you want your arm measurements to be. I wrote out what I wanted my arm measurements to be. Like all these different things I started doing, and I started applying these principles, and they started to manifest because I went step by step to what everything that how Napoleon Hill stacks everything up in the book. Starting with first having a burning desire, and then having faith that you're going to achieve that burning desire, and that faith going out and coming back to you in the form of self-confidence. All these different principles. Like, the stuff works, but you have to work it. And like I'm grateful and I'm thankful that I had the privilege and honor to learn this knowledge and to be influenced in such a powerful way by the power of the statement and the power of visualization, the power of these principles in Think and Grow Rich, these 13 principles of success, the Carnegie Secret. So with that being said, does anybody have any questions about anything that I experienced when it comes to this statement, or any other questions in general?
Hold on one second, because I muted everybody so that we wouldn't get any background noise. Let me just unmute people. So some of you are being unmuted, and in 2 seconds, everybody will be unmuted. So does anybody have any questions? Come on, folks, wake up this morning and ask something. Life is a participating event, not a spectator event. So participate. Do you have any questions? Paris, would you say your statement?
Hi, it's Cecilia.
Go ahead,
Hi,
Cecilia.
it's Cecilia. I am just appalled and just excited for you, Paris. One of my goals is definitely to be part of the elite group with Tony Robbins. I want to be able to travel like that too. I want to give back to the world. And right now, I don't have any questions, just admiration, and I want to be like you guys.
Hey, Paris, would you say your statement for us?
Sure. Driving right now, so bear with me.
No problem. Whenever you're ready, or I can move on to another question or whatever.
It is March 4, 2018. I'm Paris Ryan, the essence of prosperity. Embody appreciation more in my thoughts, play with physiology, focus, emotions, actions, and more. I'm so happy now receiving over $200,000 in potential income monthly from my symbiotic diabetic supply and real estate businesses that feed to my e-commerce platforms that fuels the railroad mission. I am a master of manifesting that uses willpower through discipline to create habits of success. Start reading at least 10 pages of 5 a.m. upon waking up, meditation, exercise in the morning, 2 hours daily for DCS, and 4 hours blocked for real estate mastery, and 1 hour every other day on my book. I end my day with 10 pages of reading and visualization of this statement to include $10 million a night. I love to read and listen to audiobooks daily, completing at least one book a week. Placing 10,000 times monthly, 10,000 per year monthly, marketing every day. Major receiving multiple sources. We text, blast, and drive for dollars weekly. I leverage my operation, outsource all bookkeeping and accounting. I constantly reduce my costs because my profits will take care of themselves. As a result, I buy, then sell massive products. I have constant cash buyers. I have 10 couriers. I complete 10 deals a month. I dominate, and I am always present. I experience joy each day knowing that what I'm doing is being of service to others and to myself. I'm weighing 180 pounds. At 10% body fat, fall, a healthy, alcohol, lifestyle, which gives me incredible energy. I am intelligent, supported, magnanimous, inspired, humble, loving, and firm. I'm a worthy, deserved, well-dressed, confident, handsome man. I attract, then magnetize the affluence of abundance in all areas of my life. I invest and compound 30% of my income in everything works out in my favor. I'm a worthy, deserved, well-dressed, confident, handsome man. I attract and magnetize the affluence of abundance in all areas of my life. I invest and compound 30% of my income and everything works out in my favor. I'm a master of myself to include my emotions and NLP. I receive all experiences as gifts, and I constantly make distinctions. I choose what influences me. I constantly feed my mind. I listen to my intuition, and I say less than necessary. I'm responsible, organized, laser-focused, schedule, functional, as a single-minded leader who is open to receive all that has been given to me and more. As a result of my journey, I'm now a master of my neural associations. I'm experiencing a constant beautiful state of gratitude, passion, adoration, love, and creativity. I attract highly motivated, dedicated people and partnerships to my businesses because it's a win-win. The positive energy of success continues to pull me to new levels frequently. It is March 14th, 2021, and my net worth is over $10 million. It's contributing on a massive scale. Thank you, God, for seeing yourself for favor. Thank you, God, for it is done.
It is done.
Woo! I'm saying my statement. You guys give me pumped up right now.
Outstanding.
Whoa.
Now, just so you know, that's the type of emotion that you need to bring to your statement. Now, obviously, if you're doing it 20 times, you're not going to be able to do that 20 times, but you should try to get at least 5 with that kind of emotion. Because look, it's emotion that anchors it into the body. And so you can clearly see why Paris has gotten the results he's had. And Paris, I'm curious, would you share anything with us from your experience in India with One World Academy?
Sure. Me being a flat, Tony had an event over in India. It was a platinum partnership flat trip that he had, exclusive to platinum partners. I had actually went over there a week before the Tony event. I don't know if you guys know who John Amaro is, but he was Donnie Epstein, Donnie Epstein and John Amaro. They're like these energy workers. They do network spinal analysis, where they do this energy work that works on your spine. It's one of the secrets that Tony uses to keep him in like this high energetic state. This energy work is, without going into too much detail, it's like life changing work that I got exposed to being a platinum partner. So John Amaro Donnie Epstein was the one that created it. He been doing it for like 20, 30 years. John Amaro was his number one pupil. He got so good, he went off and started his own thing called BCO, which is Body Centered Leadership. It's all about energy and the different chakras of the spine and the 88 other thousand energy points that are in your body and around your body. So anyway, John Amaro, he had this event at Oneness University, where it was the first time that the university ever let someone come there from outside of the school. And I got invited to go there, and it was like a last-minute decision. I went and flew over to India. I went there a week before the Tony Robbins Platinum trip, and I got to experience Oneness University. There's a difference between Oneness University and One World Academy. Oneness University was the main school. There was a breaking because the son and the wife of Bhagwan, who is the teacher and founder of Oneness University, they had like this breaking up, and then One World Academy was created. So that's like a separate thing, but it's still pretty much the same thing. It's just one has a lot of dogma, the other one is more westernized. So Oneness University was like the root and the core. So that's where I went. And it's like this beautiful white temple that was manifested from a sand drawing that was passed down for like 2,000 years. And then according to the story, Bhagwan, this divine light appeared to Bhagwan, and he erected this gigantic temple, beautiful temple from a sand drawing. So that's the story behind Oneness University. So I went over there with John. In the mornings, we were getting this energy work done, and then at night we're doing these practices with these monks that they call cosmic beings. And it was the trippiest thing I ever experienced in my life. When I get to this, first off, the ride there was bananas. The most inequality that I ever seen in my life. I'm talking about there's people that have huts that are literally made out of garbage. There's cows walking around because they hold the cow sacred over there, but yet next to the cow there's people starving with no arms because you get your hand like totally chopped off, you still over there. It was wild. So I'm driving through, I get to this temple, and when I got on this campus, it was like a whole different world. Like everything was beautiful. It was like being at a 5-star resort, literally. When the whole rest of the country is totally in disarray. So when I get to this temple, I noticed something immediately that was very, very peculiar. It was like the energy of this temple was like intensified. It was like you could see the energy in the air. It didn't feel real. I was like, is this real? Because the temple and the campus are built on ley lines, and according to historians and scientists, they say that these ley lines have these energy points where, like, energy in general is just intensified, especially spiritual energy. So I'm walking around this temple and I'm seeing just this. I'm just seeing things. I don't even know how to describe it. It was just like this energetic force there. It was like a spiritual energy. Like, and when you start walking around the temple, you see people talking to trees and dancing in the wind. It was a crazy experience. And that was me just walked. As soon as I walked in, that's what I was experiencing. So I remember one day we had went to the Black Forest, and we were doing a meditation called Amanda Mandala, and it's an ancient sadhana where it's supposed to awaken the Kundalini energy. And the Kundalini energy is the energy that's in your spine that starts at your root chakra and goes all the way up to your crown chakra. And so, like, this meditation, you focusing on the different chakra points of your spine, that awakens that energy to help you connect to source. So we're sitting there doing this practice in a group, and the energy that I felt circling through my body, so intense, it felt like electricity, to the point to where when we were done with the meditation, I literally could not let go of the other person's hand, because my hand was stuck in place from the energy circulating through it. And it was the first time that I ever experienced anything like that on that intensity. I had a lot of distinctions that came from me being in that location. I didn't believe in past lives. I had a couple past life experiences. I came out my body once. It was wild. And like someone like me, I used to think that all that was straight bullshit. But it was literally something that I experienced and happened. You take it for what it's worth. But it was a life-changing experience that opened up my mind, my heart, and my soul to a whole plethora of different experiences and things that I'm going towards in my life now. What else? They call it the ancient technology. And what they focus on is the reprogramming of the mind and of the different saboteurs in your life for you to be a more enlightened, better being. So it was just real interesting to see the things that they were talking about, and it goes back to what Napoleon Hill talked. Everything is always suggestion. The experiences you have, the people you talk to, what you listen to on TV or watch on TV, what you listen to in your car, everything is all suggestion. Everything is influencing you. So having beautiful experiences like that, because I had in my statement for the longest time that I travel to exotic places and I go to life-changing seminars. As a direct result of me saying my statement every day, a direct result of me emotionalizing my statement every day. Another thing that I would do, every event that I would go to, every time I was in a high energetic state, I would say my statement. Every time I had that excitement, I would say my statement so that I would anchor that emotion into my statement. So now when I say my statement, all these emotions that I experience from all these events, it automatically put me back in that state of certainty, and that state of faith, and that state of belief, and that state of emotional high that I was in at these events. And immediately the work starts to happen where I start transmuting my desires from my conscious mind through the ether to my subconscious mind and then to infinite intelligence as a result of practicing these principles that Bert teaches here, Desire and Think Grow Rich. And I remember leaving India and going to the flag trip. I'm like cloud 20. We go and meet Tony and Japar, where all the plats met, and he just takes us on a tour all through India. All right, Jaipur, we go to Shanghai, we go to Varanasi. Varanasi is the city of the dead. We went there for Dali, and it's a festival of the dead. So they burn candles for the dead. They literally burn dead bodies and throw them in this water. And people jump in this water also because there's a story If you jump in the Ganges River, your karma will be told, your bad karma will be totally reset in the race. So me, this guy named Justin McGarry, and a couple other people, we were on this boat. We're at this we're on this boat in the Ganges, and we had this crazy ass idea, and it's just us three. And usually there's like 10 to 15 other flats on these boats. Like, we just so happen to just have us three, so we like strong armed our tour guide. It was like, yo, take us over to the other side of this river because we're gonna jump in. So we jumped into this river. We took off our clothes and literally jumped in, just for the heck of it. And I realized that experience right there, when I got out and I dried off and I did that crazy exciting thing, I realized that was a result of the auto-suggestion and the repetition of my statement. Like every little thing that you do, every little thing that you say, especially when it comes to your statement, especially when it comes to reading these chapters, especially when it comes to what you're allowing to influence you through auto-suggestion, every little thing adds up and compounds and creates your reality because you are your thoughts. It all goes back to that simple thing that Napoleon Hill talks about at the beginning of the book, the very first phrase that he says, thoughts are things, and powerful things at that. Now, we just sit and we just think about that for a minute. Thoughts are things, and powerful things at that. Earl Nightingale even went on to say that who knew Napoleon Hill and was friends with Napoleon Hill, Bob Proctor, when he was still alive, all these different people that we hear about. He even went as far as to say that you are the sum total of all your thoughts. So if that is true, what does that mean? That means that we have the choice, we have the capability to influence our reality in our life through our thoughts, through these principles, through these activities that we partake in, through the power of the mastermind, creating that third mind, that synergetic energy that makes 1 + 1 not 2, but 1 + 1 1,000 because of the third mind, the energy that's created when you meet, you get all these calls, and you share your goals with people that are like-minded. Through the power of the auto-suggestion, through the power of visualization, through all these different principles. Like I go on and on and on, but it's just so much, but yet it's so simple, and it goes back to like, what is it that you're holding in your mind? What is your predominant thought? What are you allowing to be dormant, to lay and grow and create this life in your mind? Like an acorn, in the acorn they say sleeps the oak, but if you really think about it, is that really true? If you cut an acorn in half, you're not going to find an oak in that acorn. But what happens is when you plant that acorn, because of the conditioning and the germinization of that acorn, it starts to attract to itself the energy necessary for roots to grow, for situations to occur within the creation of life, for that acorn to turn into like a small plant sprout, and then to start to grow into that tree. And the same thing is true with our thoughts and our predominant and our definite major purpose. So if you continue to practice these things, if you continue to say your statement like you have no other choice, if you continue to walk out your goals and pat yourself on the back and realize that success is the progressive realization of a worthy ideal. Just the fact that you're on this call right now, just the fact that you have a desire to change your life and take things to a whole new level by learning from Bert and learning these principles of Think Grow Rich is success within itself. And the result of success is when you get the money. The result of the success is when you get the manifestation of the goals that you have in your statement and of the things that juice you, that car, that house, that spouse. It all starts with you planting that seed and you watering it daily. But
Outstanding.
Does anybody else have any questions or any inputs that you guys want me to cover? I didn't mean to go off on a tangent there, but I get passionate when I talk about this stuff because this is my life. Because I literally was homeless. I had nothing. And the power of the statement, the the principles that are taught in Think Grow Rich changed and transformed my life, made me into the person I am today in such a short time because I played full out, because I had the passion, because I had the energy, because I emotionalized my statement, and I started living and walking out, taking action like I couldn't lose, like I had no choice. That's the type of enthusiasm, that's the type of motivation, that's the type of self-talk that you need to have for yourself for you to manifest and walk into the power of your life. Your future self is begging you to do this.
I just want to thank you for your enthusiasm. It's really inspiring. It's helpful to hear you. I have so much excitement. Thank you.
One of the things that that Napoleon Hill said was that only 1% of the people, only 1% of the people would take the time to follow the 6 steps and write down their definite main purpose statement. And even those that do, fewer still stay persistent in doing it. So, Paris, what was the reason that you have been able to stay consistent in doing your statement every day?
Well, for me, I made it a must. First it started with me just following like what you were directed, following like these steps that you were telling us to do. Like I remember I had my statement on the front door of my house. I had a copy of my statement. I had a statement in the bathroom. There's an echo. Is there a way we can fix that? All right, but anyway, so I had a statement in the bathroom. I got my statement laminated. I put it in the bathroom. I had a copy of my statement over the toilet. I had a statement in my car. Like, I had statements everywhere until I made it a habit.
Right.
And it became automatic.
Right.
But at first, it was really difficult making it into a habit. So that's why I had to put these reminders all over the place. And as a result of that, now it's just a way of life for me. It's part of it.
Yeah. Yeah. I get people that tell me, "Oh, I forget." And the thing is, if you don't make this a must and you don't create a plan for making sure that you do your statement, then you're just going to allow your old habits to do this. You know, is there magic in doing your statement every day? Yeah, the magic is in that it creates belief. And once you actually believe that it's possible to achieve your goal, that's when you'll start taking action, more action. And that's when things will start showing up. Why will things show up then? Because you believe, and you know, as you believe, so shall it be done unto you, right? That's one of the verses from the Bible. But more importantly, until you believe it, you won't see it. So if you believe, you know, that all green people are bad and all purple people are good, that's what you're going to see when you run into a purple person or a green person. You know, I wanted to share this because one of my clients asked me this, and they said, "Bert, when you first wrote out your statement, you wrote it out in the future tense, as Napoleon Hill indicates." And people like W. Clement Stone and Bruce Lee and all these guys that you talk about, they wrote it out using the old format of making their statement in the terms of "I will." And he said, why was it still effective? Why did it work? Why did it work? Today you preach, and most of the people that teach autosuggestion say that the subconscious mind doesn't know the difference between a real event and an imagined one. So why did the old version work? Does anybody know the answer to that before I tell you? Okay. Well, what does Napoleon Hill say in step 6? Because Paris mentioned it in his own statement. He said, every day, close your eyes, right? And he tells you, if you read other Napoleon Hill works, he doesn't say just do it twice a day. He just says do it twice a day this particular way. And it's in the self-confidence formula. He says, close your eyes and see yourself already in possession of the money. So the visualization is done in present tense. And we know that visualizing yourself as already successful is much more powerful than the repetition of the conscious auto-suggestion, which is saying your statement every day. So even though you're saying it in the sense of I will, when the people that were instructed on doing this and followed number 6, and he said number 6 is the most important one, and if you guys and gals don't have those 6 steps written out and put somewhere where you'll see it every day, you're missing the boat. You should know all 6 steps, because if you read it over and over again or see it every day, you'll begin to believe it. And this is all about belief. If you don't believe this book will work, it won't work. If you don't believe in you, you won't work. So it's all about belief. And so it's seeing yourself already accomplishing the goal. And you can see that when Paris does his statement, he visualized it. He wanted it. You know, he came from a place where he didn't have much. And so he wanted it. And so he said, I want it and I'll have it. And he committed himself, not 20%. He didn't say, I'm going to give this a try and see if it works. He didn't say, I'm going to see, I'm going to do it for 30 days and see if it works. He didn't say, I'm going to try it for 60 days. He says, this stuff works. I'm going to do it. And because right then and there, what did he have? Belief. And that's what this is all about. Napoleon Hill doesn't call it belief. He calls it faith. That's the only difference. But until you believe that this process will work, and until you believe in your statement, because believing in your statement isn't necessarily about believing that you can accomplish the goal. You may have a belief that says, I don't have enough time. I don't have enough money. I don't have enough resources. And therefore, I can't accomplish this goal. And that's all the beliefs that you have. You may still believe that you can do it, but if you had the money, and you believe you could do it if you had the time, and you could believe if you do it if you had the resources or the people, right? You could be great at network marketing if you had a sales organization behind you. So how do you begin to create this belief? By conscious auto-suggestion. Unconscious auto-suggestion doesn't work as effectively. That's what Emile Coué found out, is that hypnosis under the state of, suggestion under the state of hypnosis is not as effective as conscious auto-suggestion. Although conscious auto-suggestion requires more time, because the things that you're set under hypnosis take a longer time to remember. And so by the memorization process, we embed it faster in our mind. That's why in school, they didn't teach us how to do the ABCs and the times table while we were sleeping. But we can use those tactics as well. Hey, listen, we do everything and see what works. But understand that you must do the visualization at least once a day. For 30 minutes, I concentrate upon the thoughts of thinking of the person I intend to become, thereby creating in my mind a clear mental picture of that person. That's what it's about. And clearly, Paris has been able to accomplish that with the high number. How many times a day are you still doing your statement, by the way?
I still at least do it 5 times.
Yeah.
I try to do it 10, but I'm so busy with work. But it's a must that I do it 5 times a day.
And that's the secret.
Majority of the time, I'm doing it 10.
Yeah. And that's the secret. The people that are successful set a minimum behavior that they must do it at least 5 times a day, no matter what. And they will not allow themselves to deviate from that on a long-term basis.
Another thing I do too is on top of saying my statement, I talk about my statement. Like with my accountability partner, we talk about our goals. We talk about how we're going to achieve different things in our statement. We talk about what we're doing to walk in the power, in the reality of our statement. We constantly have empowering conversation, and we're giving each other all suggestions that is in direct relation and correlation with our statement. Another thing that we do.
Outstanding. Outstanding. Well, I'm going to give everybody a last chance to ask a question. And if we don't get any more questions, I'm going to go ahead and end this call. Anybody else have any questions for Paris? He shared a lot of great info with us. Do you have any questions? This is your time to speak up.
I have a question.
Sure.
This is Brent. Paris, was your wife on board from the beginning, or did you have to kind of coax her in through your statement and
oh my God,
whatever?
So let me tell you the story of that.
I wasn't going to bring it up.
So I have two kids. I have a son and a daughter, 2 different babies' mothers, and my daughter's mother, we weren't together. We were we broke up. That's how that's because I gave her everything and I started over because I'm a man and I'm not gonna. I was like, you know what, you can have everything. I'll start over, and that's how I ended up homeless, right? So then I got in another relationship and I was doing this work and I had a son and I was engaged, and she was not on board with any of this. As a matter of fact, she was treating it like it was another woman, my personal development. Because later, as I matured and I learned about different things, I realized that on my part, I wasn't giving her enough attention, yada, yada, yada. But that's neither here or there. So, no, she wasn't. And to make a
Did we lose you? I think his call. Can everybody hear me?
Hey.
Yeah, I can hear you, Bert.
Oh, okay. I think his call was dropped. He'll dial back in because I know he was mobile.
We're trying to get it ready.
What you gonna do here?
We'll give him a couple of seconds. So does anybody here want to do their statement while we're waiting? Okay, I'll do mine. It is my birthday, February 20th, 2018, and I, Bert Hernandez, I am so happy and grateful now that I am receiving over $100,000 in monthly residual income from my global enterprise business. I easily and effortlessly accomplish my daily tasks, which includes creating an imperative import list daily, 20 contacts per day, 10 presentations per day, and 15 new clients per week, thus ensuring my success. I am a disciplined, organized, scheduled, responsible, punctual, single-minded, and laser-focused leader. I am a worthy, deserving, gorgeous, and beautiful man that is open to receive all that has been given to me and more. As a result of my concentrated effort, I am now experiencing unparalleled love, sex, joy, happiness, fun, romance, time and financial freedom, abundance, peace of mind, and excellent health. I enjoy the believable pleasure of driving my new Oxford White Mustang GT V6 convertible down the sun-drenched, palm tree-laden roads of Clearwater Beach, Florida. I have saved over $50,000 in liquid cash, and everything has been resolved in my favor, for I am truly blessed. I thank you, God, for it is done.
It is done.
It's done.
All right. He hasn't dialed in yet. I'm going to go ahead and end this call. Thank you, everybody, for being here. And the recording will be up in a few. And I hope you got an idea of why Paris was successful. A lot of it had to do with the drive of getting out of the circumstances he was in. And that will always motivate you. And also the fact that he committed to doing this statement every day. So he committed to controlling and directing his mind to the thoughts that he wanted. And that's critical. But don't forget the visualization. It's very powerful. Have a great day, everybody. Talk to you tomorrow.